I'm Emil Guillermo. Hi, everyone. I'm the museum director, Emil Guillermo. I came to San Francisco to get my hair cut, and my barber's right here by where the I Hotel is. I'm a block away from the I Hotel. I'm here in the lobby, and so I'm manipulating all this with my iPhone. You can see from behind me, I have the I Hotel sign. The very sign here on Kearny Street. This, if you'll recall, is where the Filipinos came. My father came to San Francisco in 1928, came off the Franklin Pierce and found himself here in San Francisco, would not go to Stockton, came to San Francisco, or stayed in San Francisco, and Kearny Street was his hangout. You know, where the museum is right now in Stockton, Little Manila in Stockton. That was the largest center for Filipino Americans in the 20s and 30s. But San Francisco has a special place, and here we had Manila Town. Manila Town's anchor was the I Hotel, and here at the I Hotel, it has all sorts of historic meaning to the community. This was Filipino Town, or Manila Town. And so I thought, look, I came down to San Francisco today because, look, I got a haircut. This is the first time, really, I've stepped out of my closet. And I haven't even been to the museum, but I thought this would be a great way to post a live video from a very important place in Filipino history, Filipino American history, the I Hotel. I'm standing by the sign. It's a hotel. It's not a commercial hotel. It's a residence, a senior residence, and people are here. I'm in the lobby, and they're nice enough to let me stay here in the lobby and talk to you on this live video. But you can see the things here in the lobby. I don't know. Can I switch if I can switch my, so here's like a little I Hotel chronology, and it shows how in 1968 the first order for tenants to vacate the International Hotel by January 1st, 1969, and you can see the timeline and you can see the pictures. So this is an important piece of Filipino American history, and I was a resident all throughout. One of the things that, let's see the timeline. You see 68 was the first eviction order. You see how long it took before the actual, the events that most people remember. 1977, April 29th, Sheriff Hangiso serves a jail term for failure to enforce the eviction order. And how on August 4th, 1977, the I Hotel tenants were forcibly evicted. And you see how the timeline continues and how the bureaucracy just churns on. And it wasn't until the 90s that the Chinatown Community Development Center, CCDC, and the Kearny Street Housing Corporation got the funds when they got that HUD award to build what is now, what we see here now, a senior housing center. 1997, Manila Town Heritage Foundation tracks down and brings back former hotel tenants. That was in 1997. For a long time, remember, this was just a hole, and maybe it was a hole in the street in Chinatown, and then they made it in a parking lot, and it wasn't until 2005 that we see it in the way that it is now. But this is the I Hotel. We're in the actual lobby, and the lobby has how, it's got senior housing, the little memories of the journey. Let's see what else is here. It's a senior housing center, but here's pictures. This is Claudio Domingo and Ana Gelto Moniz and Luisa de la Cruz at the I Hotel Skylight Garden in 1977. Here's another picture, Manong Frankie on Kearney Street, circa 1976. This is a picture or photograph by Crystal Huey. Here's another Crystal Huey picture, playing chess in the hallway. I'm Museum Director Emil Guillermo. Once again, we're in the lobby of the I Hotel, in San Francisco. I'm the Museum Director of the Filipino American National Historical Society Museum, and I happen to be in San Francisco today to get my hair cut. No more tubao. Well, maybe I'll still wear the tubao. But I'm here, and I thought this would be a great time just to do this live video. So more photographs in the lobby. Here's cooking in the kitchen. Another Crystal Huey photograph. Let's go on here. This is what it looked like on Kearney Street before the modern look. There you can see the I Hotel sign. You can see the Transamerica Pyramid. Here's a, look at this, March and Rally, Sunday, October 9th, 1 p.m. And this was, doesn't have the year, but it had to be after the 1977 eviction. Let's see if I can get a picture without, too much. So a little photograph there. If you're tuning in, I appreciate you watching live. If you're going to miss any of this, it'll be recorded and put on the Facebook page. This is October 6, 2007, when the mayor's committee, the protectors of the I Hotel, they put up this picture, and you can see the St. Paul Hotel. You can see the corner there. This is Columbus and Kearney Street. And then again, the infamous, or not infamous, but the 848 International Hotel. This is the original brass sign from the lobby of the I Hotel. I don't think I can get a better picture of that. But the lobby now, this is senior housing, and once again, the I Hotel chronology, starting in October 1968, the first eviction order, which is the significance of the October date. And we're coming to that October date in a few weeks. And you can see how all throughout the years, the efforts continued from 68 to 76. Mayor George Moscone proposes eminent domain that would lead to nonprofit ownership of the I Hotel. That, July 29th, 1976, that was the beginning, but all sorts of things happened between that time and where we are now. And of course, the biggest thing to happen was the forcible eviction on April 29th, 1977. So you see the history all throughout, once again. Here, it's in the lobby. You can hear the voices in the background. I'm standing actually in the lobby of the I Hotel, the existing I Hotel, and you can hear the residents, you can hear people, behind me, just waiting for the elevators. But this is where we are now. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that the people behind are speaking Cantonese, I believe, and it's a residence, so they're kind to let me be here. But once again, let's just see a couple more photographs. They have a garden now up top, but this is Claudio Domingo, Anagelto Moniz, and Luisa de la Cruz at the I Hotel Skylight Garden. circa 1977. This would be just before the eviction, and that they are tending to their garden. If you have a message for me, just put it in the chat box. Here's Manong Frankie on Kearney Street again. A little better shot of him, circa 1976. Here's playing chess in the hallway, circa 1976. And then this is cooking in the kitchen at the iHotel. So, once again, it's just nice to come here. I think all these years since the iHotel has been in this new situation, I got to figure out where my camera is. I think it's over here. Yeah. I have been, I just walked by. This is one of the first times I've been in the lobby. I've mostly been in the Manila Town Filipino Cultural Heritage Center, which is now closed. They have somewhat erratic hours, but I've been through there and I've worked with the people there many times. I've even done my one-man show there a couple of years ago. And it's always yeah.
Oh. Only 3 people here.
Oh, okay. Okay, they're asking me to leave now because only 3 people are allowed. Only 3 people are allowed in the lobby. Thank you very much. Okay. So, now she's gone. Can I come back in?
No.
Okay, all right. So, only 3 people allowed in the lobby, so they're not letting me stay. But this is the iHotel now. It's a residence hotel, and as you can see here, they've got a sign that says, "This is senior housing, not a commercial hotel." So they really don't want me here, which is kind of ironic, right? Here's Kearney Street. This is what the iHotel has become. I mean, it really was a good deal for the Catholic Church, because they commanded this whole thing here. St. Mary's Schools and the Chinese Catholic Center. Old St. Mary's moved out here. They put their school here. And the iHotel, the actual hotel, here's the actual hotel, right, which is a senior housing. Oh, there's a little mural there to honor the Filipinos. But so the Chinese and the Catholic Church got that. The seniors got this. And of course, the Filipinos got a little corner, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying we got something, but it's not really operational. Well, they're open. They're not open till 1 o'clock today. And like I said, I'm very appreciative of the Manila Town Heritage Center for a lot of things they've done for me. I've done my show here a couple years ago, but it's a shame that it's not open more often. It's a shame that it's not a bigger part of what happened with the iHotel ultimately. But it's as a famous politician is wont to say these days, it is what it is, right? And so here's an interesting designation here, the iHotel mural. This mural commemorates the history of the iHotel's decades-long struggle for low-income housing at the site, honoring the Filipino and Chinese elders and all those who lived, worked, fought, and created a home together in the iHotel. Annually, on August 4th, the night of the eviction in 1977, this story is passed on from one generation to the next, and it's in several languages. And the mural, of course, is up there. And I've been fortunate to be part of some August gatherings here at the iHotel telling this story, and it is in fact an important story. It is in fact an important story. August 4th, the eviction, and if you haven't seen The Fall of the I Hotel, the documentary made by Curtis Choi, go to wherever you do your podcasts. I do an interview with Curtis on my Emil Amok's Takeout. That's Emil Amok, E-M-I-L-A-M-O-K, Emil Amok's Takeout. Look in podcasts and find the Curtis Choi episode where I talk about the I Hotel. You can also maybe Google it and find it and then play it. Curtis tells an interesting story about how he filmed the documentary and how the documentary came about. I also reprised it when I met Curtis in person, but it's an interesting bit. And once again, October, a key date, because that's when the first eviction notice came down back in 1968, as I recall. I was just in there. But we're coming up to that anniversary of that date. August is the date of the actual eviction. And once again, if you just joined us, if you've missed any or all, or part of this live broadcast on Facebook Live, I am, you'll also find it on our FANHS Museum Facebook page in the recorded version. But I'm standing here on Kearney Street. This was Manila Town. This was Manila Town in the 20s and the 30s, all the way up through the I Hotel in the 70s. It had always been just a few blocks off of Chinatown, and Chinatown is like across the street there. There's Chinatown. But Chinatown is, well, this is right at the edge. And I'm standing at the corner of Jackson and Kearney. But this is the place where you had all the hotels. And here's the I Hotel here. I Hotel now. It sort of says, you kind of miss. But this is the I Hotel today. And like I said, I just thought to come here because I remember I was not here for the eviction. I believe I was in Boston at the time, about ready to make my way to Houston, where I had accepted a job in radio. And I just remember being in Boston, it was hot, and thinking, I should have been there. And I know some people who were there, people like what I call my Tocayo, Emil de Guzman, who was a big part of that eviction, or fighting the eviction, and was a resident, a tenant here. So, always kind of hallowed sacred ground. I know sometimes we're much too busy, we don't pay attention, we just, if we're in the area, we zip right by, this area, but I had a little time today. Happened to be in San Francisco, as I said, to get a haircut. I got a haircut today. So to commemorate my haircutter's right by here. Filipinos are loyal to their barbers. And if I really did it upright, I would have had my haircut by a Filipino barber, of which I had many relatives. But then I'd have to go over to the Fillmore. I don't know, he's not still around. Uncle Pancho, not around anymore. Or my Uncle Mel's barbershop on Hyde. I could have gone there. But no, but I'm loyal to my guy. And he's like a block away from here. I said, I'm going to go to the I Hotel today. And I'm going to talk about Filipino American history today. Filipino American history today, right here from San Francisco, where I was born and raised here. So I feel very comfortable on the street. I have to admit that people were telling me that, the city's changed during the pandemic. It's a little quieter. It's not as busy, but it is Saturday morning. But it is a little quieter than I think it would be if it weren't the pandemic. People are wearing masks. There was social distancing everywhere. My hair cutter, one person at a time. Everything's washed down. And look, he did a good job on my hair. No more. I'm still going to wear the tubao. My tubao's in my pocket, and because I'm holding the camera, I can't put it on, but I will have the tubao on. Where? Oh, there's Unlock. Unlock is. You got to hand it to all these service centers like Unlock here in the. This shows how the Chinese and the Filipino community were dependent on each other, right? I mean, we're here on the edge of Chinatown, and you see how Manila Town really was on the edge. Now, you talk to some old veterans. When I say veterans, I mean people who remember Manila Town, remember Kearny Street when it was Manila Town, and they'll say, the Filipinos used to live over here where the Embarcadero was. That was where the Filipinos lived. And that just like in Stockton when they built the crosstown freeway in Stockton, and that sort of changed the configuration of downtown Stockton. Same thing with San Francisco. They put that freeway in, and that's where the Filipinos lived in that area, and then they had to relocate. And now, of course, they tore down the freeway, and now we have just the opposite. They tear down the freeway, and now we have that beautiful area in the Embarcadero that leads to where the ballpark is, AT&T, leads to where the Warriors are, and we see the regentrification of that area. We're the Filipinos. One of the restaurants that is in that Embarcadero area, Carmen's, I don't know if it's still there, but Carmen's used to be on 3rd Street, where the bridge is. It separates the ballpark from the parking lot. And Carmen's was like a little shack there. And my old friend Rob McLeod, a Filipino American lawyer, helped negotiate their existence in their new spot. I'm not on Embarcadero now, but maybe I'll walk there and see if Carmen's is still there. But there's still a place where you can get a hot lumpia after a ball game. Ironically, the Giants are in contention for a playoff spot after people wrote them off and thought that the Giants were done for the next 5-10 years. Well, they're still kind of, they're not anything close to a championship team, but they're in contention for a playoff spot, so that's kind of cool. And some people are waving at me. I don't know why. But it's good to be here in the corner. Fresh from a haircut, my friend, the barber, said, when you walked in today, Emil, or just knocked on the window, I thought you were a homeless man. A homeless man? No. Would a homeless man be carrying an iPhone doing a live shot? I don't think so. Anyway, we're here doing this live on the Filipino American National Historical Society Facebook page, FANHS, Facebook at FANHS Museum. And we're building up for Filipino American History Month in October. I hope you have your plans together. I hope you're going to make giant lumpias and eat with your hands and do kamayan stuff. And no, it's kind of exciting. We'll still be in lockdown. We'll still be in a pandemic, but it'll be historical because it will be unique. It'll be a unique Filipino American History Month. So, once again, here we are on Kearny Street. We're at the base of the I Hotel. We got the mural up there. I don't have a zoom, so I can't go in. We were in the lobby. We got pictures from the lobby, but unfortunately they kicked me out and they said, no, we're a residence place. If you come here, it's right here by a bus stop. The Manila town is not open now, otherwise we'd be in there. But it's sad. Here's their little flyer, which gives people a little history. The International Hotel was a low-income residential hotel that became the most dramatic housing rights battleground in San Francisco history. As a center for Asian American activism in the 1970s, the building housed nearly 150 Filipino and Chinese seniors, 3 community groups, an art workshop, a radical bookstore, and 3 Asian newspapers. The I Hotel stood on the last remaining block in Manila town, a once thriving Filipino neighborhood that was gradually displaced by San Francisco's expanding financial district. From 1968 to 1977, the landlords of the hotel tried to evict the residents and build a parking lot. Resisting eviction for almost a decade, the tenants organized a mass-based multiracial alliance which included students, unions, and churches. During a final 3 a.m. eviction on August 4th, 1977, over 3,000 people unsuccessfully defended the hotel from hundreds of club-wielding riot police. The building was demolished in 1979 and it remained a vacant hole for over 2 decades. Thanks to a concerted effort by local community groups, neighborhood groups, the I Hotel was rebuilt in 2005, providing 104 units of low-income senior housing and a community center to celebrate the legacy of Manila town. And that's from the flyer here. We are at that Manila town center here at the I Hotel. And this is the I Hotel now, which is the hotel. And there's the historic mural up there. Wish I had a better shot of that, but I'm not that tall. I was in there, but they wouldn't let me stay. But I did get shots of the photographs there early on. You'll have to see the recording. But this is basically what happened to most of Manila town. It became the legacy of the St. Mary's Catholic Church, became a school and the Chinese Catholic Center. That's what this is here. And there's still a garden up there, but it's not nowhere. Well, I've been up there. It's different, very different. And this is the block here on Manila town. So, I'm Emil Guillermo. It's been good talking to you. Thank you for joining me. I might do another broadcast if I get another bit of Filipino history that I run across live. But you know, the museum's closed again because of COVID, and we like to do these pop-ups because, hey, you check in with me, I check in with you. The Philippines shut down because of COVID, but we're still open. We're still doing what we can to make sure that we talk and live Filipino American history with you. Like I'm fond of saying, the museum is where you are. So back again maybe later today. Check in on our Facebook page for more videos. Check in tomorrow. I'm Emil Guillermo. Thanks for joining me. Take care.